time, like because people notice me because I'm kind of muscular. And then they automatically just make fun of me real quick. So, not everybody all the time. Not everybody's talking about me all the time. I realize that, but it happens often enough that to me it's just like I don't really like these people. I don't really like anybody, and I think it's just a combination of I'm a white male and I'm not that tall. It's not really the height though. It's not really. It's mostly like this issue of like I'm seen as evil because I'm a white male, when really I'm not really that evil. But here's the thing: you're probably a white male as well, right? So you're a white male as well, probably. So when people think white men are evil because of the far left, and that permeates the rest of the culture, which is a liberalized culture, then there's a huge issue with me even trying to deliver food with Uber. So it's just unless I'm like super nice, and even then I just get laughed at. So I would just get laughed at for that. So it's like I don't really care. So now I'm just playing the game. I don't know. I'm just doing a job. I'm just doing Uber. I don't really want to be a salesman, but I'll do what I gotta do. I'm not really a salesman. I don't have the face for it. I don't really have that. I mean, I probably could try, but There are guys out there way better salesmen than me. Probably, I guess. I don't know. I don't want to be a salesman. My grandpa was a salesman. That's great, but I don't really want to sell random shit. Random stuff or whatever. I don't want to sell random stuff. I would rather just write and collect a check. So, no, I'm gonna do that one way or the other. So here's another interesting thing. I was just watching a video about this, which this is something I kind of picked up on, not recently, but like in the past like 5 years or so. We live in a culture that's sort of either or. So like you're either this or you're this, right? So you're either this or this, and that's because of the average IQ, if you ask me, because the average IQ can only handle this or this, right? You understand what I mean by that? That's an abstract concept. So it's the either or, like, not argument, but the either or state or whatever. The either or state of being. Like you're either short or tall. You're either average or below average, or average or above average, or whatever the case may be. You know what I mean? You're either this or that. You're either 5'6" or you're 5'10", or you're 6 foot, or you're people around and stuff, and you're either whatever. That's is what it is. Like you're either this or this. You're either for abortion or you're against abortion. There's no nuance and there's no time for deeper thinking. And part of that is because like work, but mostly what it boils down to is IQ. So what it boils down to is like the IQ of the population. So, but because people create the jobs that they work at, right? People create like the work is created by people. Like people generate these things. It's not generated and then people magically were affected by it. Like no, some people generate them. And yes, other people are affected by it, but usually they're lower on the IQ scale and like. So it's just sort of like that's how that kind of works, right? It's an either or culture. Like you're either this or this, but that's not really. There's a lot of people who are in between, who like think in nuanced ways. So, yeah. Like some people might say, you're an incel. Well, I mean, if you've slept with like 20 women, are you still an incel? Like to them, that you might be at this point in time an incel, even if that's not even accurate. And they'll just like think that automatically, and they don't even try to figure it out. It's really kind of fucked. It's kind of fucked up. But not. Here's the thing, though. If you go and try to change the entire world, you're gonna run off a cliff because these people don't want to change their minds. You know what I mean? Try to find common ground, but man, I don't know. It's just there is a point where like size does matter. So And I'll tell you why it matters. You can get angry about it, but like I'll tell you why it matters. Because just think about this. Like if you need to move a felled tree for an old lady, like I just moved an entire tree the other day. Right? I just picked it up and I moved it. Like I picked it up and I moved it. It was a big tree. Relatively big tree. And I moved it for this old lady who scoffed at me, by the way, which was kind of funny because I moved a tree for her. Well, actually, she scoffed at me, and then I said, okay, I'll move this tree. So I moved the tree, and I cleared the pathway, or whatever. I cleared the sidewalk. It was laying right over top of the sidewalk, big tree. Not too thick, pretty thick, though, and the really pretty tall tree. And I just picked it up, and I moved it off of the sidewalk. So that's why size is important, right? Like just on a basic level, that's why it's important. That's why people value it, right? Because of that sort of thing, or worse. But that's one reason why, you know. That's one reason why. Yeah. I'm just trying to explain to you like the right side, and then the left side would be like, you know, and by the way, yeah, you could cut down the tree with a chainsaw or whatever. Then you could move it that way or whatever. But even if you're small, it's hard to use a chainsaw. It's hard to use anything. So it's very brutal how life is. I didn't really make it this way. I'm not God, so it is what it is. I can see it though. Uh, like I understand. Here's the thing. I understand a lot of things. Like a lot of things, man. But reality always just comes right in and like there's this girl at this sandwich shop. She always corrects. Let me just talk about it. This girl at this sandwich shop that I go to. She always corrects me. She always corrects my order. So even when I order it correctly, but like not in the exact order that she wants me to or whatever, like I go in there and I'm like, can I get a number one? I'll say like, can I get the? I'll kind of stumble with my words and I'll get it out and I'll say like, okay, it's this. Um, I want this, and then she'll say, oh, you want this, like right in order, like really quickly, and I'm like, yeah, like, you know what I mean? Like that's kind of like, it's really funny. I don't know. I think it's hilarious, but I guess my point is, like she's like somebody who would be like kind of like from a family on the right. Like they're very like orderly. They're very like do it in the right order and do this and this and this. And there's not like a damn thing you can do to change that about somebody. So it's in their genetics. So it's just like literally in their genetics. So like you have certain things in your genetics. It's just and I have certain things in my genetics. And yeah, and I'm weird because let me tell you something. So conservatives are a lot more orderly, um, usually, and they're less open to experience. I'm open to new experiences, and I'm orderly. I'm both, so I'm like a weird breed or something. I don't really know to be honest. But like, if you test me for like openness to experience, and if you test me for orderliness, I'm above the 80th percentile in both of them. So I don't know what that means, but okay. And then most people who are like orderly, they're not open to new experiences. And most people who are open to new experiences, they're not orderly. You probably kind of know that intuitively. So, or maybe even on a logical sort of thinking basis. I don't know how to put that, but you know. But I'm both. I'm literally both.